Well, we pulled up to the fuel dock this morning and wanted to put fuel in, and got this nice little wrench from Beneteau that comes with the boat, and went to go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and it would not budge. I mean, we twisted and turned and used a hammer on it to see if we could knock it this way, pound it on it this way, see if we could knock open the corrosion, whatever was holding it together, and it just would not move. We were really struggling. We ended up actually putting a pipe wrench on it and got quite a bit of torque on it, and you might be able to see that that wrench is no longer straight. So this thing was really in here good. And so the next puzzle is to figure out how in the world do we either get this cap off so we can put fuel in the boat again, or do we instead pull out this filler cap and change that out? Because it could be that this filler cap is galled in place, that there's been some sort of stray electricity getting up here. It's been about 10 months since I put any fuel in the boat, so if there's been a little stray electricity running around, it's had a chance to do some stuff. And if it has galled, then it's very unlikely we'll ever be able to unscrew that and have to take this deck fitting out and put a new one in. And I'm not really sure how that could be done. So this lever arm, or I guess you call it a deck filler wrench that comes with the boat. You can see there's the diesel end, which has 6 stars to it, so it's a Torx, T-O-R-X. And then this is the waste and water side, and that is an 8-star fitting that matches the winch handle for the sheets and the mainsail. So if I need to, I can use winch handles for waste and water, but for the diesel, that's a little 6-pointed star. And I went to a couple of local parts stores and hardware stores, and nobody had a Torx bit that size. So what I ended up having to do was measure across the points, and that's 44/64. So that reduces to 11/16. I found a chart on the internet that converts the distance across the points to the T number of the Torx wrench series, and it turns out it's a T80 bit. So I found this bit where else on Amazon and ordered it up, and so I have this as a spare, and I can put it on my ratchet wrench, and it gives me a pretty good lever arm. Turns out this is not good enough or not enough torque to take that fitting off yet, so I'm going to have to work out something else. But the funny thing about this particular T80 bit is it's most commonly used as for the lug nuts on the Lamborghinis, and I guess the secondary application is for the diesel fuel filler cap on a Beneteau. So I ended up making a breaker bar using this 2.5-foot piece of 1-inch pipe and strapping on the handle. So that's good and tight. And this is, I think, how we're going to open this thing up. It should be enough torque in order to make that go. Well, I've treated the deck filler cap with penetrating oil. I did that 24 hours ago. Put several different injections on the top edge and let it soak around, and I did that until I saw that there was no longer any penetrating oil actually soaking in. It was starting to fill out from the bottom, so that suggested that the penetrating oil was in there as much as I was going to get. The second thing that I did was to hit the cap with a heat gun, get it nice and hot, get that thing to expand, and then let it contract. And that was based on a recommendation of one of my marina neighbors that does a lot of good work around here. So with all that done, and with our breaker bar now strapped to the filler cap wrench, let's see if this thing's going to open. It's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and yes sir, there she goes. So we got it loose. I can unscrew it now, and we can get over to the fuel dock and put some fuel in the boat and get on with our business. So just make sure that the bit that I got off the internet fit, and sure enough it does, and it works just fine with the ratchet wrench. Now that I've got it broken loose with the big breaker bar. And now that I've taken this thing out, I'm going to take it home and soak it in parts cleaner for a while to get the threads all nice and clean, and then put a little gear grease on here. One of the recommendations I saw was do not use Vaseline. I'm not sure exactly why that's a no-go, but I saw that mentioned a couple of times in various posts on the internet. Vaseline is not a good lubricant for this job. So I'm going to use some gear grease and get that thing lubricated again. I'd always assumed that since diesel is a light oil, that it should, just a little spray and overtopping that comes out on the threads probably would keep those threads well lubricated, but what we're seeing, and that's not the case. But so now we got it all fixed, got it loosened up, got spare Torx T80. We can run to the fuel dock and be assured that we can get it open one or two different ways.